What's up, everyone? Welcome to another exciting edition of the In Our Tribe podcast. Today I am with Juan Novello. He is the Vice President of the Sacramento Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. He's also the alum of Cohort 1 of Creciente, and it's been really neat to see him and his crew. Like, the Sac Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has a really neat team over there, and maybe I have time to explore some of that with him. But just love everything that they're doing. One of the things that they're doing, and we're going to be diving deep into this today, is they just published and released the Hispanic Economic Report for 2025. And I want to get into the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful of this with Juan, and what does it mean for the Hispanic community of the Sacramento region. But first things first, welcome to the In Our Tribe podcast, sir.
Thank you, sir. It's weird to not have you in my ear. I normally play this when I'm at the gym, so being in cameras and with you is such an honor. I know I've been here before, but not solo. So
I know
it's weird.
It is,
and it's really interesting because normally you and I have really deep conversations over meals and choosing a one-on-one, but never in front of cameras. So we'll see where this goes.
We can't promise to behave in the next 45 minutes or so, but we're going to give it a shot. So when you're at the gym, what are you listening to these days?
I listen to everything, and again, because I am a fan, I know that a lot of folks give their what they listen music-wise, and I'll tell you, I grew up in Nayarit, Mexico, with a bunch of dolidos, puros tíos que les gustaban las rancheras, so the Joan Sebastians, the Pepe Aguilar, the Vicente Fernandez, all those, de las que te quieres cortar las venas, son las que siempre están en mis oídos, pero decidí hace como 5 años tratar de pasarme más de la música a la comedia. En nuestra Because of what I do, I'm prone to a lot of informations, a lot of it sometimes really negative or something really reactive, in where I just decided that everything that I want to listen to that is for my own in my own time is Mexican comedy. There's a lot of really good folks who have taken a lot of European and American comedy, especially stand-up comedy, and really integrated and merged it into a cultural Mexican style, that whether that is Niño de Rivera, whether that is Daniel Sosa, whether that is Los de la Cotorrisa, or a lot of the folks make fun of me because I promote her La Burrita Burrona. Why you think about when I say La Burrita Burrona?
That Juan wouldn't listen to the Juanita.
Only Juan would, right?
Yeah.
Which is a Mexican comedian from Monterrey who dresses up with a donkey costume, and that's drag. I'm gay, so there's a lot of references, and I'll tell you why I do this. Mostly is because I don't want to get detached from reality and from my background. There is a really interesting line that sometimes is walked and can be communicated through satire, both in comedy and the late 90s and all of that. But once you are able to read between the lines and also enjoy the message through a lens of comedy, especially with what's going on in Mexico and how folks are living their day-to-day, it's amazing. So most of the time at the gym, if I'm not listening to the podcast or llorando, I'm like just laughing. I want to laugh.
I love that.
I want good energy. I want good vibes, because again, the world is too negative at times, and if I don't hold that space for myself, nobody else will. And there's a lot of other issues that come with it.
Well said. Well said. I've always felt that comedians are the truth tellers of the times.
They're writing history.
Yeah.
At times, you won't remember specific things even about this report, but you remember a mean joke.
That's right. Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, you know who George Carlin is?
Of course.
Like, I listened to George Carlin, and he was talking about this stuff in the 90s, and it's almost like he set himself up like, I might not be there when it happens, but let me tell you what's really taking place. And I was just like, wow, mind blown, right?
Yeah.
You're from Mexico originally, and I would love for our viewers to hear a little bit about your story, but telling it through the lens of what brought you to Sacramento.
Oh God. I wanted to change the world. Uh, Born in la Ciudad de Mexico, Ecatepec, Chilango, de corazón. My parents divorced when I was 5. The last memory that I had of my dad was seeing him through the bus window as we were leaving to Nayarit, and he was staying behind. It was the rain, and that's the last time I saw him. I was 5. My mom is the first one to get a divorce in a Mexican household. I have about 17 uncles and aunts, a big family.
Wow.
And for a traditional household, Mexican household, that was a no-no. You're supposed to stay by your man, regardless of what may happen. And we moved to Nayarit when I was 5. I was the odd kid. I always had the brains. I was always smart. I was always in tune with just learning and try to figure it out, how to grow as an individual and how to know things or pay attention to things. I'm also a Virgo, so there's a little bit of that. And I also, traditional household, I was, we wake up at 5, 4 in the morning to go milk cows. To this point, it's one of the things that I still have on me. My husband hates it because I'm awake really early before a lot of the world is. Although I would say there's another section of the world that is probably barely going to bed at that time. But now I go to the gym instead of going milk cows.
Yeah.
I grew up in Nayarit, in a rancho. Going buying groceries was a thing that you wouldn't go to a traditional American store. You just have it either in your backyard or ahí están en el campo. O sea, whether it's sandía, was mango, was corn, was beans, was rice. You had it all.
Wow.
And your diet was so fresh, and it was that. Remember that I've been a vegetarian since I was 5, 6. And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I will wake up in the morning. The only meat that I can actually eat is shrimp, and it has to be cooked right.
Wow.
So aguachile, oof. Every time I go to Mexico, that's all I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And my husband is like, "You're not gonna eat that?" No, I'm okay with this. It's fresh, it's nutritious, it's green, it's just delicious. I grew up in the rancho. I was raised by my uncle, again, El Toledo. My mom came to the U.S. when I was 7. That was like one of the first reality checks that I had as a kid. A 6-year-old, 7-year-old guy who didn't know what life was, no memories, no dad, a mom who, for the most part, was always looked at differently. I remember seeing her in bed crying because she didn't know what to do. I stood up because I have a big head and I didn't look like the kids from a rancho. When there would be an open house or family, activities at school, most of the times I had nobody. And taught me, and throughout time, something that I actually learned to appreciate, and not anything that I put against my mother, but rather just the fact that that was my reality and I needed to make something work. When I was 11, my dad found out that my mom was not living with us, that we were in the rancho. So he was trying to figure out a way to take us away from my family, from my grandma and my uncle.
Whoa.
And my mom said, "You're not doing that." So that's when she brought us over to the U.S. And it was hard because, a 12-year-old kid learning who my mom was because we lived apart for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
She didn't know what I liked. She didn't know what to give me or feed me. She didn't know the TV shows that I would watch. She didn't know anything about me other than I was the son. The one in the middle of three. I have two sisters, Frida and Lisbeth. Both amazing moms now. I'm the first one to graduate from school and from college. Made my own decisions. Was brought to the U.S. when I was 12 and documented. The first memories that I had was seeing the pavement in the freeway with a bunch of shiny lights, red lights, because I was looking in the opposite direction. Cuando me cruzaron por la garita de San Isidro. And knowing that I didn't know what to expect, but knew that I needed to figure it out. And that has been my motto for everything. Even on my day-to-day, I'm like, you ask me, how's your date looking like? I have no idea. Sometimes I jump into things, so things come up that I'm like, I just need to figure it out. And I need to make sure that I make it count. And that has been my motto ever since. Graduated from San Diego High and San Diego State University at a time where migra eyes will get on buses. Sometimes I had to walk 5 miles just to, go to school. Came out as gay in the middle of it. My first love broke my heart.
How old were you then?
I was turning 21. But I would tell you, I wouldn't change nothing about my life. I came to Sacramento immediately after graduating from college when I was 23. After getting DACA, I was one of the first kids to get DACA, and there has been a lot of up and downs throughout my entire career and my personal life. But I'll tell you right now, I've been married now for almost 10 years, together for about 13, to a beautiful man, both inside and out. I have a unique group of life partners, I call them.
Yeah.
I know there's a concept of board directors, but I think because I have managed throughout my career more than 75 board members, that I'm like, no, I don't want to touch, or I don't want any attachment or alignment to none of that. I love a lot of my folks. They have been great partners, great supporters. We have done really great work, but my personal life is completely different.
Totally hear what you're saying. I resonate with that.
And there's no inspiration. There's no term limits. There's not a boat. There's opinions, there's love, there's caring, there's all good vibes that makes Juan who I am now. And bought my first home in the middle of the pandemic. I think I was actually going through Creciente when we actually bought the house. I remember it was a Friday. I couldn't go see the house when my husband was already closing escrow, and I was on FaceTime on my phone, and I had Creciente on the other screen. And I love what I do. I love life. I love Sacramento. I love the opportunities ahead. And, just being able to do the work that I do is a gift that I don't take for granted.
Yeah. What specifically do you love about Sacramento?
People. People. They're so welcoming. They're so uniquely Sacramento that are just, every time I meet somebody who was born in Sacramento, either went away and then came back, or went to school here in Sacramento and they do the type of work that we do here in Sacramento, I'm like, okay, tell me more. I want to know more. I'm like, what is this, or how this worked before? And I always ask, how have you grown as an individual now that, Sacramento has also grown? And now I've been in Sacramento since 2012. So I've been in this town for quite some time too, and I've seen it grow. Yeah. And I own my house. I stay here. So I'm also Sacramentan. And
that's right.
And it's quite an amazing title to have.
It is a cool place, man. It is. I'm a kid from the Mission District of San Francisco, California, through and through. But Sacramento has been such a wonderful place to me.
Yeah.
Like it has been, like you said, accepting and just opened up its arms. And I think Sacramento, if you have something to offer in terms of skill and knowledge, they'll find a place for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the type of place this is.
There's definitely a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
A lot of opportunities, and that's why, like, now I get to do the work that I do. It's Sacramento, it's not San Diego. No. Definitely not San Francisco. Yeah. It's growing in ways in which I can guarantee you, and I know a lot of even natives didn't even think about, and sometimes they don't even know about.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, come on, be proud. I'm
Absolutely.
like, it's not just the kings and the beans and the river cuts and the republic. It's you all.
Exactly.
I'm like, it's the Northgates, it's the Del Pasos, it's the Franklin, it's the Ranchos.
Hello.
It's the Auburns. And it's so centrally located that it just makes it heavenly. I'm one of those folks who is always out in the road, and like I have friends all over the United States and international, and I'm like, no, I love Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's home.
Yeah, absolutely that. It's true, man. It's true. So props to you and the team for putting this report together.
Thank you.
I've always looked forward to reading it. Let's start with some very basic numbers. When we think about the state of Hispanics, how many people who identify as Hispanic, Latine, Latinx, we'll work out the name someday, but you know what I mean? Like, how many of us are here in the region according to this report?
A lot of us. I can go on percentage and break it down by county and cities, but I'll tell you this, and I always tell folks, it's not just what the report tells you, it's what that report is not telling you.
I'm getting there for sure.
And it's not just one specific, number, it's how that number triggers something else.
Yes.
As I will tell you, there's not a third report without a second, and there's not a second without a first.
Exactly.
And it took a lot of time, but it has been really interesting to see the change, the growth, the ability to accept not only the report and the reality in numbers, but also themselves. There is a not so hidden secret anymore. If Latinos are doing well, Hispanics are doing well, the economy is going to do well. Our workforce of tomorrow, it's in our schools right now. So how is it that we're making decisions, and how is it that we're really cultivating a not only an inclusive but a really forward thinking that allows the changes that are happening to be sustainable? It's to me, it's the most exciting part of my job.
Yeah.
It's not about the handout. It's about how can we create opportunities for them. For them.
Totally that. Absolutely.
And so you would think that, Sacramento County being Sacramento County has the most, Latinos per capita maybe, but Yolo County, God.
Yeah.
And then you have the majority, 80+% being Mexican, but there's a huge population now coming of Venezuelans, too, into the area, Colombians, Peruvians. It's amazing. One of the points that we highlight in the report is that discrepancies or the gaps in income are actually getting narrower, which to me, I'm like, yay, great. There's not a lot of us who are poor, but to me, I'm like, yeah, but how are we spending the money?
Right.
Are we spending it on people, or are we giving it to somebody else? And there's also the sense of, for example, Yuba and Sutter have seen a lot of growth, not only in geographic and housing, and a lot of Latinos are actually moving into those areas and buying a lot of houses. I'm like, great, but what about Placer? And what about, the other counties where we also should have access to?
Exactly.
And so there's a lot of those different things and that come into what you can make out of that report. But unless you're able to see things in a holistic way, you won't be able to really create that great, that real analysis that gives you the actual state of our community in the region.
Totally. For you, when you all looked at the report for the first time before it went out to the general public, what jumped out to you as the bright spots? What were the causes for celebration when you looked at this?
It's gonna be, it's me. But I'll try to be as sensitive as I can on this particular regard. The mainstream tells us that our community and whatever screen you're seeing is telling you a particular narrative. Our report in reality is different. It shows a whole different picture. For instance, there's a lot of conversations right now going on about immigration.
Yeah.
Sacramento, because of geographically location, the percentage of undocumented community in Sacramento is not as high as you think it would be. So a lot of decisions that are being made through that lens, that doesn't really equate in its reality to what really is happening. And I'll be really sensitive because I know that there's a lot of compassion. Again, former undocumented, individual. I know how it is. It went through the system for a long time. I'm now a citizen. And I don't want to sound malinchista, but there's a point in where if we focus too much on what they want us to be distracted on, we're not focusing on the positives and the opportunities that we can lay ahead for ourselves that can change the narrative and realities of everybody.
Sure.
Not just the Latino community, not just that segment of our community, but everybody across the state. Think about from the sense of California being the fourth economy in the world right now.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Imagine what we can actually accomplish. Sorry for saying it like this. Sorry, Mom. If we get our shit together.
Yeah.
If we can actually think about strategies that can now line us up through a really good, tangible, sustainable, light ahead.
Right.
But provide us all the opportunity to bring the best possible of ourselves and the strengths and things that really allow us to really move in a direction that not only inspires and uplifts everybody in our community, but has the ripple effects across all of our economy.
I love that. When you look at this, I don't want to get away from there's some celebration in here for sure. There has been some advances since the last report came out. Where are some parts where like, yeah, we've moved the dial? And yes, we can explore what's underneath it, but like you've seen gains in certain areas. I'll share, you share first and then I'll share the one that popped out for me.
So I'll tell you one. Our region is changing. It's no longer the government town. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's a reality that if you walk through downtown, that should tell you right off the bat.
Yeah.
A lot of the workers that you normally will see, they're not there. And so what I believe is the greatest opportunity, because again, I want to see it from the positive side, is that when it comes to how our economic growth is being directed or strategically being planned, we need to make sure that we're part of that.
Yeah.
Meaning that, yes, there's a lot of merit on the social sciences and those careers that drive the passion or that historically and stereotypically had been more on the interests of the Latino community. But now you're seeing industries coming into the region that need a workforce, meaning that we need more engineers, meaning that we need more architects, meaning that we need the folks who, I always give this example because I go to community events all the time, and there's times that we have small businesses telling me, hey, I have a food truck, I'm doing really bad, I'm now tapping into my equity of my home to try to keep this this business open. And I tell them, this is one of those clear examples in where when you are driving a business that doesn't align on how the economic growth of the region is going, you are going to suffer and you're going to see things and you're not going to be able to jump on opportunities that other people are doing it. Right? And so, and I tell them, and they're not paying me, then don't really give a lot of money to the chamber either. And I'm not putting them on blast, but like we have Siemens in South Sacramento. Multi-million-dollar international organization or company that is building the trains of tomorrow. You know how much difficulty they have to find vendors, to find small businesses to build those locomotives and those trains? That those are contracts that are multi-million-dollar contracts that could change so many families.
Oh yeah.
But in Sacramento, it has such a unique ecosystem of community colleges and NGOs and other entities that are wanting to provide resources and opportunities that can train folks, like our friends at the Los Rios Community College, our friends over at Sierra College, which is highlight them in the video of the report. It was so beautiful seeing a student, the dad and the grandpa, learning about mechatronics.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, can we do more of that?
Yeah.
And like sometimes your passion shouldn't drive your livelihood.
Woo, yeah, we could do a whole episode on that for sure. I'll tell you the one that hopped out at me, and I was like, oh, that's a good thing. And there's probably some more to this, but it seemed, if I'm looking at this report correctly, it seemed like more Latino families are buying homes. They're now homeowners, and you know, we're still seeing renters, of course, but we're seeing a jump in home ownership. Was that accurate?
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it builds equity. It builds, generational wealth.
Yeah.
But again, not that I'm negative, I'm realistic. What happened in the 2008 recession?
Yeah, a lot of people lost their homes.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
So how can we ensure that those folks are having the opportunities to actually keep their homes?
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's not negative at all. That's actually strategic and smart. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, how are we doing in terms of educating our young people and becoming an educated population?
Sacramento is one of those places and ecosystems that, well, that is, again, an NGO or a community college with either an associate or certification, or when it comes to our friends over at Sac State or UC Davis, they're really trying to figure out a way to find that alignment and provide those opportunities. But again, it really goes into the value of education, especially with the newer generation, when they see the TikToks and they see all these trends and all of that. I'm like, ultimately, a trend is a trend. By definition, it's going to be gone. Your education and investing on yourself is something that is always going to stay with you. And so there are those efforts. There are definitely a lot more opportunities. I think a good amount of our community colleges are not only Hispanic serving institutions.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of questions on that part. We can have a whole different conversation, and a few other folks are probably not going to like me on this particular part. But if there's no alignment, I'm sorry, but it's just waste and missed opportunities in where if we were to just get to a room and really think about how can we collectively align and strategically set, again, that pathway forward, everything is going to work for the betterment of not just this particular segment of our community, but for everyone.
Absolutely. When you looked at the report for the first time, was there anything that you were like, oh shit, this is troubling? We need to talk about this as a people.
From year to year, there hasn't been that much change. And I'll give you this. The trends are trends, and we can expect and see how things are going to go. I just highlighted one of them, which is housing. I'm like, yeah, things are going in one direction, but things happen, and our people are the first one to lose things.
Yeah.
Our people are the first one to feel something.
That's real. Yeah.
And so as I see the positives, I can also see the negatives, and I can see what will come ahead if we don't get our act together. And so as I see the ecosystem, I see the work that you do, and I see the work that is being done, I'm like, this is great. There has been really great advancements, but we need to keep at it.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that we not only keep at it, but we make it better.
Yeah.
Not only for ourselves, but for our kids.
Absolutely.
And if we don't do that right now, that report,
it'll be the same in 2027. Here, we'll just change the number. We'll change the number.
but it's real though, and it's one of those things in where we can have all those. Sorry, I'm gonna bring this up. We can have all these kumbaya moments, and how we need to start to change the narrative and who we are, and I do it all the time, and through the work that I do as as an executive, but also in the community. But unless we're able to have that hard conversations, and we're able to really strategically put differences aside and put egos aside and actually get to work, things are not going to change. And again, to me, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
If we work together.
Yeah.
And figure out a way to actually make things happen.
I want to go there. I definitely. Let's talk about how do we get our act together? How do we have these courageous conversations together? Before that, was there anything in there that hopped out to you about the health of the Latino population? Was there anything there that you would want to share with our viewers? Like, in terms of our health, are we overall good? Are we getting better? Are there still things that, like, I think the last report really talked about, was it diabetes?
We had asthma this year too.
Asthma.
Yeah. There's not as where it needs to be. And there's not a close attention to it.
No.
And our folks don't take their health seriously either.
Yeah.
And we're not engaged and involved in ways in where we protect not only our health, but our kids.
Yeah.
Our kids' health.
And this is what I'm always looking for, Juan. Like, so when I read the report and it says things like, hey, our diabetes is not okay, our asthma is not okay, believe it or not, I actually look for, like, commercials. I look for commercials, like, on our Latino channels, and I'm looking for those, like, hey, like, here's how you get better, here are some tips, I'm looking for the health commercials, and maybe I'm watching at the wrong time, but I'm not seeing enough of that right now, because so many of our people, that's where we get our information.
Another controversial point.
you saw Juan's nonverbals, and like, what, Adrian, just
and I'll try to keep it as positive as I can. To me, it's not about the commercials. It's who shows up when it matters. For instance, our nonprofit organizations, when decisions are being made, sometimes I'm in rooms in where decisions are being made about our community in which our community is not there.
Hello. Yeah.
Sometimes I see things in ways in where, for convenience and at times our own laziness, we don't support our own people, or we don't speak for ourselves. Right. We don't vote.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, I'm sorry, this report and the work that we do is not gonna mean nothing if it doesn't really serve as a tool for you to make the decisions that need to be made.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's not my responsibility. Yes, I breathe it, and it's my day to day, and my bosses and my board and all the partners involved. And this time around, if you notice, the list continues to grow, because to me, it's about ecosystem building, making sure that it's not just the chamber hiring somebody to tell the story that we want to tell, but it's also SACOG, who has a really good sense and a say in how our region is growing.
Absolutely.
And how things are happening.
Yep.
That are engaged in this process. That is GSAC, the Greater Sacramento Economic Council, that sets the tone in how our region has to grow from an economic standpoint. Is Valley Vision, who does a lot of this work in our community, who have access to a lot of programming. So our numbers and our people are in those conversations. But again, if that community is not showing up, if that community, because again, conveniency, or a lot of them feel disempowered, don't really take ownership of their own future, to me, I'm sorry if I say it like this too, I'm like, I don't like commercials.
No, but I think that, to politely put it this way, I get that there's council meetings and that we need to be there, and there's so many of us that's our job to be in places and positions where decisions are being made, right? To be the voice for our community. But I'm thinking about this, man. So many of our families, it's just not in their lives right now to go attend a council meeting at 9 a.m. or whatever, because they have work, right? And when I bring out commercials, I bring about like how do you get this language out and get this information out to the masses in a way where they feel convicted to do something, right? And I feel like that wave is missing. I feel that we don't have that all the way, right? And that's why I get so happy when you all put on an event and I see the community come out to play, right? And I say come out to play, but there's also like come out to be educated, come out to be there for each other and lend each other a helping hand. Like that makes me really happy. But I think what I really want to get to right now is that part that you brought up about 5 minutes ago is how do we get our act together and how do we have these courageous conversations together?
It's been intentional. It's been intentional.
Yeah.
It's actually showing up and make it count.
If you had your way, like what would be like the first 2 or 3 steps to be intentional and bring all of us together to have?
I'm one of those who believes that our budgets reflect our values. At the chamber, I'll tell you this.
Oh, that's good.
The majority, if not over 90% of our budget, goes straight back to our communities.
Nice.
Well, a lot of people may think that, all the fanciness or, my life. I'm like, no, I just I have a good husband who also works, and we have made really good decisions. I had the great mentors. I was adopted by a gay couple who just showed me a whole different way of living. And with that comes making different decisions that probably my peers made. I also made some really grounded decisions when it came to understanding that money wasn't everything, that I needed to find a solid ground that would make me happy and give me the levels of gratifications that were not necessarily dependent on who I met, what I was racing, what events I was at, or who knew me or who hated me or who doesn't like me, or any of that stuff, but rather the community of who we are. But I'm a simple guy too. Most of my budget at home goes straight to our small businesses. This jacket is not from Macy's. It's from one of our members and great friend of mine and partners, Tuxedo Dan here. He dresses me for everything that I do. I pay him to do it too. I go to my local grocery store. I donate as much as I can, not only time but money. On Saturdays, normally go really early to the gym, right? On Saturdays are the days that I like going hard. You know what I do? I actually go to events and I help them with setup because they need volunteers and a lot of them don't have the resources.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant. I don't see them when it actually matters. And like, to me, it's not just going and scream at a council meeting. And so the default is always negative. And I get that. It's part of the Latino DNA. But to me, I'm like, no, the default should be, how can I help? And at times, it's not just money. It's not just showing up or tuning into something. It's actually stepping out and figure out, hey, neighbor, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I see trash, pick it up. I have friends who go on a run, and on their way back, they pick up all the trash they can.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. So what I'm hearing from you is that to be in community more, to show up with intention, to support our local small businesses, buy local. And I love what you said about it's just not showing up to scream at a microphone, but it's showing up to set the stage.
Yeah.
It's showing up to be there for each other. To build community.
And it's one of the things that we have done at the organization. And again, when I told my parents that I was gonna start working for the Chamber of Commerce, their reaction was like, "Are you coming out as Republican?" I'm like, there
What?
you go.
What? Is this a news flash right here? Are you about to drop a bomb on the In Our Tribe podcast?
I had to keep everything apolitical. I have to in many different ways because everybody has a value and everybody deserves the level of respect. But there's a point in where if we're not intentional about the work that we do to deliver tangible results,
Yeah,
then we're just doing this.
exactly.
And Juan does a lot of this, a lot of it. But I also get to work.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm not wasting my time doing this because I need to go to work.
Yeah, yeah.
And so even our events, that chicken dinner and a table that a lot of our friends and a lot of people are expecting to, you're not going to get that from our organization. One, because it doesn't make sense. Because our money shouldn't be going to be directed to that. It should be directed to building community. Yeah. Our events are not going to be, or have, at least since I've been in the organization, in a big event center at a hotel. Yeah. No offense to everybody who's in that industry, but if I cannot support our businesses in every possible way, whether directly or indirectly, I am not doing my job. Yeah. Everybody who's at our events gets paid.
Yeah.
Everybody who's there, we're more focused on building community than doing this.
I saw that at last year's Salud Awards. It was so beautiful, man, to see all the vendors there, it was a celebration of small business. It was a celebration of and the way that you all put it together is that, dare I say, it was fun.
Everybody should be having fun.
Yeah.
And this came because, and I give a lot of kudos to my boss, Kathy, and the board directors who at times I had crazy ideas and they're like, well, we can at least try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll change it. But if it does, let's go in.
Yeah.
In where I understand that right now, more than ever before, we're going through a really interesting transition in who we are as a community, both cultural and generational. Culturally, we're not the same organization and we're not the same community as who we were before the pandemic.
Can I just say, I'll say it here, I don't care. That makes me happy.
Me too. And from a generational perspective, the non-sayers, the ones who already broke into the system, the ones who already know how things work, are not necessarily representative of the future. And if I'm not giving the space to the next generation of folks, not only my organization is going to become irrelevant.
That's right.
But the work that we need to do for them, their voices are not going to be included in that process.
That's right.
And so a lot of the job that I do is try to mediate a lot of that. And at times, I don't know why I put myself in this position. Balancing it all in a way that not only provides everybody the space to do something and see themselves in that report, but also give them the opportunity to step up, give them the opportunity to take that leap of leadership. And see themselves in a way that I know I can see them, but I need them to see them for themselves.
That's right.
Not because of Juan is prescribing it or is manipulating everything to make them happen, but rather because they deserve it and they are who I know they are.
That's beautiful. I love that. When you think about Sacramento in its current state, what gives you the most hope for our community?
People.
Our people.
Our people.
Why?
Our people are just amazing. They're incredible. The next generation of folks, they're beautiful individuals.
They're dope. They are. They
not
are.
only get it, who are ready, who are really just to take on what they don't even know. And they are beautiful in a sense that they just breathe their own authentic self. And they understand that it's not only about them and what is, paying their bills. It's about our families. It's about our community as a whole. When, I know that we invited you guys to, I do a lot of this, a lot of it. La Posada with Alpha, which is another of my projects that came about because of the work that I learned through Creciente. it's ecosystem building, it's structure building.
Absolutely.
And seeing the piñata with the kids, the amount of toys that went just to for
Cars, there'd be like 3 cars.
for a
was
beautiful
awesome.
cause,
Yeah.
so our farm worker kids could have a toy for the holidays.
Yep.
Something as simple as that. I
Yep.
didn't ask you for a table. Nobody was there, against their will, I hope. Nobody was there with an intention of, paying for something other than supporting also a small business.
Right.
That otherwise probably would have had a really slow Tuesday.
Right.
And open their doors.
Yeah.
And everybody was there to have community and build community.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm one of those who believes that there's no economic growth without community.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that's what the powers that be, I think those are the forces we're up against, the ones that are trying to disenfranchise and divide community. And our job is to keep community together and keep building it and stand up to those nasty colonizing habits, if you will.
And when we do it to ourselves, it's when it's more again. I've been told way too many times. I've been judged. I've been slapped left and right. There's nothing that anybody can tell me that will scare me. There's nothing that somebody can hold against me that will push me away from continue to do my work. Yeah. And I don't make any differentiations, whether it's my parents, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the governor, whether it's my boss, whether it's a community member. Ultimately, you show up, and if you don't show up the way I'm showing up, that's on you. That's not going to be on me. I'm still going to continue to do the things that I need to do.
So good, man. You think about your life right now, you think about the change maker that you are in Sacramento, you think about the people that you're surrounded with. What 2 or 3 things is Juan Novello most grateful for right now?
My life partners, those folks who ground me, who at times don't get to see often, but when I see them it's like I'm home.
Yeah.
Like, when people ask me, what's your favorite place in Sacramento, like my house. I love my house.
Yeah.
I love my house.
Yeah.
I also got married to a designer, so my house is beautiful all the time. And the ability of keeping my hope alive. There's at times a lot of things that are external that are telling us no, or you're wrong, or this is this and this and this. I'm like, again, that's your reality. Yeah. That is not mine. Yeah. I still have a lot of hope, not only for myself, because at times we lose that element.
Yeah.
In where I'm like, I have accomplished what I've been accomplished, and I'm not smarter, I'm not superhuman. I'm still as real and as similar than the guy behind the camera.
Yeah. And
he's still as valuable and worthy and deserves the right opportunities as I have.
That's right. 100.
Whether that is a house member of our community who breaks my heart, every time I'm walking in downtown, or whether that is a lady who shouldn't be walking in downtown in Stockton Boulevard on my way to the gym every morning. Yeah. I'm like, I am not detached from reality. I have seen every possible segment, and I know you and I had this conversation. Sometimes I know a little bit too much of what's going on, and at times keeping it together and saying the right things is so difficult.
Yeah.
But I still have a lot of hope.
It makes me happy, man. Let's make a promise to each other. We're going to do everything we can to keep hope alive.
We have to.
Right on.
We have to.
Right on, man. Thank you, brother, for being who you are. Thank you, man, to you and the squad at the Chamber, man. Kathy and Anna. Y'all are just good people doing great things.
Fabiola is also coming up the ranks.
Yes.
We're a small and mighty team, but again, we drive ourselves with intentionality, making sure that we make every opportunity count, because our community deserves it.
Absolutely. Let's have some fun while doing it as well. If people want to dive into the report and pick out some of the gems that we spotlighted today, where could they go online to get this?
Our website, you can Google it if you don't want to remember this, but you go Sacramento Hispanic Chamber of Commerce report or sachcc.org/report. You'll find it. We'll also be releasing it in Spanish coming up because our comunidad necesita ser educada en todo idioma de cualquier manera posible para aprender y ensure that they actually take ownership of their own future.
Eso. Perfecto, man. Hey, we're coming to you from an amazing place known as the Rink Studios. The Rink Studios is in the heart of Del Paso Heights, and they're bringing in some amazing events. Do me a favor, look up the Rink Studios and see what you want to get into and come visit them. Also, want to thank everyone for just tuning in and being part of this community that we've created here. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, I got some feedback from my daughter who's watching our podcast. And she's like, Dad, sometimes it looks like you're on the phone. I'm on my notes on my phone. I take all my notes on my phone, this little supercomputer that I don't really call a phone anymore. So, yeah, just know I'm all here with our participants and our guests all the time. But it's my notes app, not a phone or a text. Peace. We're out of here. Bye.
Bye.